Hello, this is William Allen with my AEP 859 Module 1 presentation. So just a little bit about me. I grew up in northwest Kansas in a small town called Brewster. I graduated with 8 in my high school. I went on to Benedictine College, a small Catholic college in Atchison, Kansas, where I graduated with my Bachelor's of Arts in elementary education. I then returned to Colby, Kansas, which is about 20 minutes east of my hometown of Brewster. So I now teach at a small Catholic school. K through 5, we have about 80 students. I started off teaching 2nd grade for a year and a half, and then the 5th grade position came open, and I've taught that for the last couple of years. So my personal life, I've been married to my wife Katie for almost 2 years. It'll be the 21st of this month will be 2 years. And we have a little girl, Rosalie, who is 4 months old on the 7th of this month, and she is also going through a sleep regression, so we are both exhausted trying to keep up with her, and she's still as happy as can be. Some other hobbies that I enjoy include sports, reading mysteries, watching movies, and spending time with our family. Both my wife's and my family are very close by, which is a blessing. So diving into some academic activities that we have here at Sacred Heart. In this category, I kind of found myself stretching just because we're in elementary school. I feel like we don't offer a whole lot of supplemental outside of the classroom. So if I have repeats on this list in my non-academic, it's because there's a lot of crossover and they tend to blend together. So obviously there's classroom instruction for academic activities. We have Mass. So as part of a Catholic school, we have religion as our curriculum, so that definitely helps them in that aspect. We offer field trips that we can learn a lot. We have band through the public school, choir. Again, academic and non-academic. We have an after-school program offered through the public school as well that focuses on homework first before anything else, and they'll sometimes have some mini lessons for the kiddos as well. We have a buddy program at our school where our older students are paired with our younger ones, and they oftentimes will complete activities together, like the stream activities that I have listed. They might read to the younger students, things of that nature, so they'll work together a few times a month typically. And like I said, we have stream activities, so we have science, technology, religion, engineering, art, and mathematics for our stream. So we do that in the classroom as well as whole group as a school. We have a couple of reading specialists that are employed at Sacred Heart who work one-on-one with students and also in small groups. And then we have SPED through the public schools. We also offer lessons from our priest, so about once a week he comes into our classroom, and he is military, so he offers lessons not only on religion but on history and wars and things like that. So our administrator, we've had 3 I've seen 3 in the past 3.5 years that I've been at the school. I'll focus on the one that we had last year since we just hired a new administrator for this coming year. So she a lot of times would pass on information about opportunities that were occurring, whether it's field trips, professional development, things of that nature. She would assist with transportation if we asked her to. Since we don't have our own bus, she would also help coordinate the stream activities as a whole school. I think we have fairly diverse opportunities for such a small school and an elementary one, but sometimes we lack intentionality and we don't really tie it to a purpose. We kind of just do things for the sake of doing them. So what I would do differently, I would be more of a presence in the classrooms. I know I saw our principal in here probably one time when she evaluated me. So I just would be more of a presence in the classrooms to, let them know I'm there for them, help them out where I can, offer support and ideas. And then I would really love to implement an observation program where teachers can watch other teachers. I've seen other schools do this with a lot of success, and I would love to see our school do that as well. Very informal, but a lot we can learn from one another. And as far as teachers, students, parents, and other stakeholders go, I think overall they're satisfied with our academic programs. There has been complaints and issues of lack of coherence just with all the teacher turnover, the principal turnover. We don't have certain curriculum elements that align, so there's been some lack of coherence. But a lot of the parents and students stick around because of the small class sizes and that we're a Catholic school. So some non-academic activities we offer at Sacred Heart would be some service projects that we do. We also have, again, mass field trips. Those are both, like I said, academic and non-academic purposes. We do fundraisers. We have a large carnival every year that the parents and students get involved, as well as teachers. We have lunch every day and recess where they get to socialize with their friends. We have virtue education, so teaching them how to grow in virtue or character, so using virtue-based restorative discipline. We also have school concerts that we can offer. I personally do escape rooms that work on character, things like growth mindset or organizational skills, motivation, things of that nature that I really love and my students love. And then we offer prayer service on the days that we don't have Mass, so 3 days a week. Our administrator, she helped spearhead fundraisers and grants, helped write some grants for our school. She also led the prayer service, and like I said, she would arrange transportation for us if we asked, and then she would attend these various non-academic activities that we would have. I believe personally that we could offer a little more as a school, but we are somewhat limited with funds and size. Like I said, we don't have our own bus, so anything with travel tends to be kind of a headache to arrange. So I would do differently, just a few things. I would work to implement opportunities outside of our school time. So one thing that we've talked about is to implement a stream club after school, and it's not happened yet. I would love to see that happen. So again, teachers, students, parents, and other stakeholders, I think, are mostly satisfied with what we offer. A lot of the parents and students are busy elsewhere, whether it's rec sports or through the public school programs, but they are often go, go, go. So they often have lots of activities, non-academic activities that are available elsewhere from our school, and that's okay. And overall, the parents are very supportive of our school, and we have very involved parents as a whole. So some things that I learned from my resources or gleaned about non-academic barriers that exist in regards to learning. So all these that I have listed are in reference to learning typically in schools or just finding success in general. So the advice that I got was to be proactive. There are essential skills needed for life that may never be gained if they don't gain it in school. So some of these kids won't learn it at home. They might not even learn it in college or after they graduate high school. So if they're not getting it at school, they might not get it anywhere else. These skills are important, but not assessed well. So they're valued, but they're also varied. So they are very important. Everyone's pretty much in agreement that they're important to teach non-academic skills, but no one can really agree on what exactly those are. These skills are labeled as supplemental, but are a requisite for success. Like I talked about, everyone kind of recognizes a need for them, but often they get pushed to the side because of standardized testing and things of that nature. Chronic stress, I thought this was interesting, is often mislabeled as disabilities. So a lot of times kids are mislabeled because they have chronic stress at home, they have situations, and they are just seen as learning disabled or having some kind of disability. But the ESAA, Every Student Succeeds Act, supports testing other areas, so we're slowly, it seems, through the ESAA, working on better testing and assessing these non-academic skills. They go by many, many overlapping names, and there is a disagreement on what is essential, whether it's growth mindset, non-academic skills, whatever it might be. They all cover variations of each other, but again, no one can really decide what to call it and what all falls into those categories. When surveyed, 88% of teachers stated that student poverty was the #1 barrier to learning, which isn't really a surprise. Texas was taking a whole child approach based on research. It was shown that students miss less school, they have higher test scores, etc. when they are taught these non-academic skills. In Kentucky, some students are receiving, this was kind of an eye-opener to me, that there needs to exist some programs like the one that I studied in this article. Some students are receiving education in group homes, juvenile detention, mental health facilities, hospitals, etc. And there are groups advocating to make sure that education is quality and good, which I thought was very fascinating, and they try to implement, again, kind of a whole child approach. More districts are mandating training in these areas, so they are mandating that their teachers be trained in these areas like depression or other drugs, alcohol use, things of that aren't necessarily academic, but they're still important, and teachers need to know how to deal with them effectively. And some barriers that kind of exist for the teachers and for administrators trying to get that set up would be high quality training and ensuring that completion is a priority for the school. So especially in large schools, making sure that not only they're offering this kind of training to improve their non-academic skills and non-academic awareness, I guess you would call it, but that teachers are in fact completing it. So things that I have overall seen my principal do and not do, I have seen her encourage and teach virtue, which I think is awesome. She's brought in speakers to address different issues with students, such as bullying, self-esteem, things like that. She also encourages experience in and out of the classroom. What I haven't seen a whole lot of is staff training, like I read about in some of the articles. And I also haven't seen us really try to evaluate non-academic skills. I haven't seen us really do that. We are a private school, but I haven't really seen that happen. And then finally, I don't think our school does a great job of providing tangible resources for struggling students. So we have the public school that we rely heavily on, but I would like to see some more resources that we have in school and in our building that we can use when students are struggling with some of these issues. And here are my sources. Thank you for watching my presentation.